This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Apparition Scents, an outdoor and sporting goods company based in Dilliner, Pennsylvania. All of their scents developed and hand bottled with strict attention being paid to every detail. Contact them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionscents.com. 100% lethal or your money back guaranteed. Get a hold of them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionsense.com.
All right, folks, welcome to another live podcast segment here on the Limb Podcast. Man, I tell you, we're here at 1010 Bridge Road, located at 1010 Bridge Road, Charleston, West Virginia. Not only do we support local businesses, but we want to do this as much as possible when it comes to recognizing local entrepreneurs for their achievements and things that they're doing in the community, West Virginia, and on the national level.
Absolutely.
The Appalachian Range is rich in heritage, whether it's with food, hunting, music, coal mines, and individuals making it on the national level.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Hey, and if you haven't noticed, I'm in studio tonight.
I know. We got Dan in studio.
It's great.
I'm so glad he came in for this.
Yeah, we kind of planned this around me coming
We did.
in, honestly. So
we sure did.
It was
Dan
good.
works out of town a lot, so
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that he was here for it.
So we have a historic West Virginian joining us on the show this evening. He has a passion for Appalachian food, music, and stories. We will hear from him in just a minute. First, be sure to check out episode 109 with Hunt Chef for our Wild Flavor segment. It's out now on all major networks. And be sure to head over to our Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast to listen to all other episodes we have streaming currently.
Yep. And don't forget about our codes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't forget about the codes. We got check out OutdoorProShop.com and use Podcast 10 to get a discount from them. We also got ApparitionSense.com. Use code On the Limb and Nature'sVoiceGameCalls.com. We got Podcast 15 at checkout and all these great places. You can get great discounts, great products.
Yeah,
guys.
the Apparition Sentence actually does 20%.
Is it 20
They
now?
do the
Okay.
biggest discount out of everybody. So if you're listening tonight and you're a hunter,
Yeah, see, we're horrible.
get on there and you've got some discounts.
We own the show, and we don't even get 15. Come on now.
Oh, no, he hooks us up really
Yeah,
good.
he does. He's a good guy.
So our special guest this evening is the 2024 James Beard Best Chef in the Southeast Award winner. Owner of 1010 Bridge Road Restaurant, The Pitch, Ellen's Ice Cream, which is located in Charleston. And it's 2023-2025. I didn't really get that when I looked the address up, but it's on Capitol Street. If you're on Capitol Street, it's right across from Pies and Pints. You'll
Can't
know.
miss it.
Oh, yeah.
You'll
yeah.
know where it is.
I've stopped there recently.
Yeah.
Well, not recently. I guess it was a couple months back.
Yeah. So
It was
they
really good.
They recently was placed 9th in the U.S., or the USA Today Reader's Choice Best Ice Cream Shop category.
No kidding. That's
So
awesome.
that's
pretty
another
awesome.
that's
Yeah.
another national
Yeah.
thing.
Man, getting all kinds
Yeah,
of awards
it's
here.
been a good year.
Yeah,
It's been a good year.
I tell you.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's welcome Chef Paul, the
Thank you.
2024 James Beard Best Chef at the Southeast Award
Thanks, man.
winner. How you doing?
I'm great.
Man,
Thanks
it's
for
been a
coming.
long time since we reconnected and seen each other.
It has been.
I mean, we were there at the University of Charleston. I was there longer than you, but you were
Man.
there, what, 4 years?
I was there 3 years.
3 years,
Yeah,
okay.
it felt like 4.
Yeah.
It felt like 7.
Yeah. I
Restaurant
recent-
years are, chef years are like dog years.
Yeah, I got you. I recently seen that you've done one of those drive around things with the president of University of Charleston.
Yeah,
So tell us about that.
That was amazing. Marty Roth is absolutely fantastic. It was really fun. He really thinks outside the box.
Yes.
And I think that, to have a president of a university that the students can identify with, that, he comes in here all the time. He's always got great ideas.
Good deal.
He's just doing great things for UC and for Charleston and for West Virginia.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you didn't work under his tenure, neither did I. We were working under Dr. Welch.
Right.
So is that the first time you met Mr. Roth?
I am actually on the board of trustees.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of came full circle on this.
That's-
So,
that's
you know,
good.
From employee to board member. But no, we met here.
Okay.
And he is just a wonderful. He and
So
his wife are both
So
absolutely.
you
wonderful.
still have a play in some of the food that goes on there now.
Some I
That's
have
good.
a big hand. You know, part of what I love and part of what I stand for is this rising tide theory.
Yes.
So, you know, really raising the bar, but also really working together with other chefs, with other restaurants, not only in Charleston but throughout the whole state,
Yes.
and trying to raise all of our boats.
Yep.
You know, if all of us are a little bit of the
you
water,
find yourself
then
not-
it just keeps going up.
Yes.
This episode
Hey, stop texting. Yeah, see that? I said rising tide.
Technical.
This isn't the remix.
This is the Chef Paul remix right here. We
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Dave is on the board.
Dave,
I tell you what
we
it
love
was.
you, buddy.
We was talking about the DJ, and that's what got him.
That's
Yeah.
right. We were talking about EJ, and he's like, "I'm going to do this.
Don't feel bad.
I'm
Dave.
going to bring it back. I'm going to hit the."
So, Chef Paul, you've worked all around the world. You've worked for the Ritz-Carlton Resort in Naples, Florida, the world-renowned Biltmore Estates in Asheville, North Carolina, the Windsor Club in Vero Beach, Florida, and you formerly trained there at New York's prestigious Culinary Institute of America, and you graduated there with honors.
Yes.
And the CIA's Greenstone campus in Napa Valley, California,
Yep.
where you studied pastries and wine and graduated with valedictorian awards.
You know, it's funny. All of that sounds. I look really good on paper, you know? And I also look really good after you have a couple cocktails.
I'm telling
there you go.
I'm telling you, you're about as professional as you can get with your look here.
Well, hey,
I love it.
I didn't have this on until about 5 minutes before you walked in. I actually have my Fife Brewing T-shirt on back there because it's about 120 degrees in the kitchen.
No doubt. Yeah,
You know, you guys are here. I got to bring my A game.
Guarantee it.
we don't bring our A game. we're B level at best.
I'll bring my C. I'll bring my C plus. My C plus outfit.
you know, we did win an award.
Yeah.
I mean, we did win a state award,
Yeah.
so that we can call ourselves an award-winning podcast now.
There you go.
we sure
there
can.
you
You
go.
know, I mean,
See,
that's-
we're both award winners.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
I thought, man, this is going
That's
to work
why
out
we're doing it.
perfect.
See, that's why we.
Ain't you
That's
glad
why.
I
That's why we do.
reminded
this.
you of that?
I'm glad you
Look,
did.
We can tell him we're
Yeah.
award
Yeah.
winners too.
But
Well,
his
his
is a lot
might
more
be a little-
prestigious for sure.
You know,
Just a smidge,
just
but
a smidge.
On the national level. So, see, we were just on the state level.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to start
you
somewhere.
got to start somewhere.
Hey,
Absolutely.
that's right.
Yep,
right.
absolutely.
You know.
Okay, so
So,
let's get on to
speaking
some
on
of
that
our
award-
talking points. Go ahead.
Yeah, speaking on that, how does it feel to be the first in the state to receive this prestigious award?
Man, it's such an honor.
I'm sure.
You know, it really is. It's an honor. It's, you know, it definitely, you know, it takes a village. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
am
Yes, it
so
does.
fortunate to be able to work not only just in 1010, but at the Pitch and at Ellen's and all of the restaurants. I get to learn every day. I get to rub elbows with some of the best in the business.
Sure.
But I'll tell you, I would have never thought that I would even be in the running. You know,
Right.
you think about the Southeast, Georgia, North
Yeah.
Carolina,
Oh,
South
yeah.
Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, West
Wow.
Virginia. You think about those cities. I mean, Nashville, Charlotte,
Yeah, Charlotte,
Atlanta,
Nashville.
Charleston, South Carolina,
Savannah.
Savannah. These
Oh,
are
yeah.
these are restaurants. These are food towns in tourism cities.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to have West Virginia, you know, I think I said it in my acceptance speech. The first time that the two words West Virginia were ever said in that setting,
I guarantee
was
it.
while we were there.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I was watching it live, and I was like, man, look how. I think the word today with the youth is like dapper. Is
Yeah.
that what it is when you when you're like really fly looking?
Yeah.
I was like, man, Chef.
bringing
I
it.
think
Chef
Dapper's
is
like 45, 50 years ago, Mike.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll go with dapper.
Okay, see, maybe
Fire.
Fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Fire.
Oh yeah, okay, you were
Yeah.
fire.
I think one of my
all shined up with the bow tie and everything.
One of my young guys back there said it was clean.
Oh, there you go.
And I was like, oh, okay, good. That's
See,
great.
That's when we got to call Trevor and them. See,
Yeah, we have to.
what words
Right.
do we
Come on.
need for this?
But half the time I'll say something, they're like, no, you shouldn't use that word. You're too old for that word.
That's my kind of word.
That's right. Yeah, right. I'll stick with that.
Yeah, see, I go with Dapper. I think back to like the old era, Dapper Dan and the old.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But
Yeah,
you know,
the 20s.
No,
Yes.
not that
I'm
far
not the-
back.
Yeah, I don't have this, the big square suits.
Yeah.
With the,
So since you've won that award, what all has transpired? I mean, you've been extremely busy.
I have been
I
extremely
mean, the
busy.
schedule has just elevated like crazy.
It has. We're you guys are here.
Yeah.
So I've arrived.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
know, I mean, this is pretty much it.
Well, I was like I don't really know if we're going to be able to get Chef Paul on or not. I was like, I've known him for a long time, but
Yeah.
he's in a different category right now.
Well, that's what I got to make sure. We have to support each other.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have to support West Virginia. Just because it's funny because people say, "Well, are you going to leave West Virginia?" I'm like, "Hell no, I'm not going to leave West Virginia. I moved back here to be here.
Yeah, this is
my
your home.
country road brought me back.
Yeah.
to try to make a difference. And
Yeah.
I think that's the beautiful thing about West Virginia. Just like what you guys are doing, we're making a difference every day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are, you're educating, you're spreading the love around, and that's what we're doing every day.
Yep.
And I love being back here.
Yeah.
I was in some great places. Like you said, I was in Napa Valley, I was in Asheville, I was in Naples, I was
Yeah.
in Vero.
Yeah.
But nothing ever felt like home.
Yep.
And I was missing the mountains. I was missing the people. I was missing West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I have gotten busier, but I'm trying to stay grounded. I'm trying to just cook one meal at a time and make one experience at a time. And I did the governor gave me the Distinguished
Yeah, I
West
seen
Virginia
that.
Award.
Yeah, seen that too.
was what an honor.
Yeah.
And Senator Manchin sent me the flag that was flying in D.C. that day that I won.
No
It was-
kidding.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I wish.
Holy
That is
moly.
And they presented it to me during my cooking class at the Capitol Market, and I had to take a moment.
Oh,
And
sure.
That's the beautiful thing
Yes.
about West Virginia. We have access.
Yep.
Yeah.
And our politicians, Senator Capito, Senator Manchin, whatever side you're on, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. They're really good people, and they're really good representatives of our state. They support us. I mean,
Yeah.
Senator,
Oh, yeah.
they live right down the street.
Yeah.
Senator Capito walks up here, and she's like gives you a big hug, and that's what this is about to me. It's
Yeah.
not about the culinary Oscars. It's not about the accolades. It's not about the shine that I'm getting right now. It's about supporting West Virginia. And
Yeah,
it's-
and the relationships that you make
Absolutely.
along the way. You can
Friends
never
like us.
Friends,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it really, West Virginia should have more to cheer for all the time.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a
I agree.
great place to live.
Yep.
I think the secret's out. It's getting out.
Yep.
I think tourism we really have to lean into, and
Yeah.
we are. With Secretary Ruby really putting some money behind us.
Big
Whether
time.
it's hunting,
Yeah.
whether it's fishing, whether
Yeah.
it's adventure tourism, and you're going down the river or hiking or skiing,
Yeah.
or culinary tourism. We have some of the best chefs that I've ever worked with and ever seen and ever been a part of here
Yeah.
in West Virginia. And I'm happy to, since the Olympics right now, I'm happy to carry the torch.
Yeah, I hear you.
use
I
that
hear you.
analogy.
There you go.
I'm
Awesome.
doing it.
I love
I'm doing it.
That's fitting for sure. All right, so we're going to take a break real quick and hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with Chef Paul.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Backwater Truck Supply, located at 100 Armor Creek Road in Nitro, West Virginia, right across from the Town & Country Supply. Contact them today at 304-610-8699 or check them out at backwatertrucksupplywestvirginia.com. Backwater Truck Supply specializes in accessoring your ride to your liking, new or old. Does your Jeep or truck need lifted or a leveling kit installed? They've got you covered. New tires or minor automotive repairs? They got you covered there as well, with a full-service lift along with a wheel balancing machine. They are affiliates with some of the top brands in the automotive industry. Contact them today at 304-610-8699 or check them out at BackwaterTruckSupplyWestVirginia.com.
All right, guys, so we're back. 1010 Bridge Road Restaurant here at 1010 Bridge Road, Charleston, West Virginia, with the 2024 James Beard Award winner, Chef Paul Smith. And Dan is going to do our salute to valor real quick.
Absolutely. So tonight we're going to do a memorial.
There you go with the remix
See?
again.
It's the DJ theme.
It's just the vibe here, I guess.
That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight we're going to remember Charles Marlin French. He was born November 27th, 1950, and he passed in June 5th, 2022. He served in the Air Force, was a high-clearance electrical technician. He served in Vietnam and was discharged from the service in 1972. What's that say?
Just he was also, you can start there.
Okay, he was, okay, yeah, you're typing here. Got a little sketchy, Mike.
That was a copy and paste.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Greg's the one that sent it out.
I got you. He was also one of the original 7 Kentucky members to go to Rolling Thunder from Kentucky and did over 1,000 PGR missions.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's Patriot Guard Riders.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's what that stands for. Getting that out there for people that don't know. And the Bridge Rally, he organized the Bridge Rally in Grayson, Kentucky, to support Rolling Thunder riders. So after his career, he seems like he did a lot.
Oh yeah, he sure
for
did.
the military too.
Just supporting his fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
And, the ones that pass. That's a memorial thing that they do when somebody that's either serving or has served passes. So that's the Patriot Guard Riders. So, Chef, you had something that you wanted to mention that goes right along with us.
I can lead into it, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking during the break, and you said you love using West Virginia local farm fresh ingredients and for your restaurant dishes. If you could tell us a little bit about that and what you're using and where you're getting it.
Absolutely. So, we're right here. You're looking at the chalkboard next to us, and that is all of our partners.
Oh, nice.
From Buzz Food Service.
Yeah, I keep looking at that J.D. Dixon salt bars.
Oh, yeah.
It's
J.D. Dixon
amazing.
is awesome. And that's another great feather in our cap. But one of our partners that I take the most pride in is Patriot Gardens.
Okay.
So it is started by the National Guard.
Awesome.
General Hoyer, General Crane, Mel, and Brad, and it takes either our deployed guards persons, their families, or their themselves, and they keep their hands from being idle by agriculture. So what they do is, if their husbands or wives are deployed, they ask the families to, they grow produce. When they come back, it also helps them, number one, to combat PTSD.
Okay.
Number two, to feel, like they're accomplished. Number three, it is what they do and the produce that they grow is absolutely amazing.
And that's
Every
awesome.
time that they call, they're like, "Hey, this is what we got. This is what we have," and I said, "Just send it all."
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to use it no matter what.
And I think about it on a larger scale. I just did a podcast with General Hoyer, who's retired and absolutely fantastic. General Crane is a good personal friend of mine. We do a ton for them. I'm just cooking food. They're making sure that my restaurant is safe. They're making sure that all of us are safe, and so it's literally the least I could do to support them.
No,
so
that's awesome.
I am so proud.
And we can incorporate you into the outdoors as well if you really think about it. So, if you go and look at some of the stuff on your menu, you've got ramp butter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's a West Virginia favorite.
That's one of the things that when I was
Yeah.
talking about it and thinking that on having Chef on, I was like, we can incorporate this very well.
Oh,
because
absolutely. That's
of all the
outdoorsy.
local products and
Absolutely.
produce that he uses.
Yeah, I don't go out. Sometimes I go out and forage, but I'm not that farm-to-table guy that's going to go out and dig my own ramps or whatever. But we bought 500 pounds of ramps.
Oh, my
this year.
Lord.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's just, if you think about,
I could eat that.
don't come around.
Right.
After that,
Yeah, don't cover it up. At least for like a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
But I think when you talk about what we do now, you talk about the hot things that chefs do. You
Yeah.
think about, the things that are right up here. You think about canning. You think about
Yeah.
fermenting. You think about pickling.
Yeah.
These types of things were always done by, the people that taught me how to cook, my grandparents,
Sure.
their parents. It's what we do. It's what we do in Appalachia.
Yes.
Why there's still, the schools are closed during the Thanksgiving holidays. It's because this is what we needed to do. We
Right.
needed
Yes.
to grow our own produce. We needed to figure out how we could use it all year round out of necessity. We needed to hunt and
Harvesting.
make sure that we had enough meat, and now chefs are kind of, playing. There's Rene Redzepi and all these big time chefs are like, oh, I'm fermenting this and I'm doing this. And I'm like, yeah. So my grandmother did that and taught me how to do it,
Yeah.
30 years
Yeah.
ago.
30 years ago.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love being back in West Virginia. I think we have one of the most biodiverse growing areas around. I mean,
Yeah.
we are the only landlocked Appalachian state.
Yep.
Right.
And, some of our rams go to New York City and Chicago.
Really?
And
Oh,
DC.
yeah.
Oh, man.
For sure.
The diggers that we get it from are literally driving up there and killing it. And our terroir or our, soil, it really grows the best,
Oh, yeah.
most tender rams. You think about pawpaws. We do pawpaw ice cream at the shop, or pawpaw
Oh, yeah.
creme brulee here. You think about all of these local ingredients. We were talking about lamb earlier.
Right.
It has the ramp butter right on top.
Yeah, no,
of
that's
it.
what
Oh,
so we all
yeah.
have. That's what
God.
we'll be having
Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, where I'm classically French trained, so I
Okay.
can drown stuff in butter and, and-
Yeah.
and sauce.
Yep.
But when I went to Napa Valley and growing up here, I saw exactly what I wanted to do. And that's where, we all have this moment where things just click
Yep.
in your career. And you're
Yep.
like, hey, I got bay trees and I got, all these things right here. If I just put a little J.Q. Dickinson salt and pepper on it and let the ingredient be the ingredient.
Right.
That's all that I got to do. And, when in doubt, put a little ranch on the side in West Virginia or maybe wrap it in bacon. Right?
There you go. Wrap it in
wrap
bacon.
That's it.
That's a
You
James
love doing
Beard.
a West Virginia fatty
I
that
do,
you
I do.
it's wrapped in bacon.
That's right.
Yep.
See, I'm not a culinary genius. I just won this big award from serving ranch. And you put a little ramp in the ranch and you wrap it in bacon. And everybody's like, holy crap, this guy can cook.
There you go.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, I tell you, I've had some of your amazing foods, and here at 1010, I've had them at UC, and it's just. And when we came to here, me and my wife came here for our anniversary the first time, and I was talking about. I was like, I've had some of the things that we're eating right now that he fixed at UC. But one of the things that you can do here, like you're saying with the local,
Yeah.
you get to pick where that comes
Absolutely.
from. No,
Yeah.
you don't get to do that with the bigger corporations
Right.
and the other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. No,
so
you're right. You're
you've
right.
set
And-
yourself in the perfect place.
Yeah, and I also worked for Buzz Food Service
Yes.
for 8 years,
Yep.
and so
Okay.
I really dived into the protein industry.
That's where you went when you left UC,
That
right?
is,
Yep.
yeah. And one of my best friends and one of the smartest guys I know, Dickinson Gould, took his family-owned business, kind of took it to the next level, and he was like, "Hey, we need a corporate chef on board. We want to, kind of get away from because Buzz Butter Steaks are always going to.
Oh,
be
yeah.
They're a
that was
staple in West
that was a
Virginia.
Friday night
Yeah.
thing for us.
Yeah.
It was either
Yeah.
Friday night Buzz Butter Steaks or the sit-down Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
When you're playing Galaga, and having the red cups, and
Yep.
so. I learned so much, and I think that's where this rising tide theory really came from, was talking with Dickinson, and he had moved back from D.C., I had moved back from Florida. We're talking about the experiences that we had in other areas, and we're like, hey, if we all work together, West Virginia can really, it's always great.
Yeah.
But we always have this negative, people have this
Yeah,
negative
absolutely.
connotation
It is.
of what they're going to get.
I think that's turning, though.
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really do.
It really is, and because all of us are doing it. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about West Virginia is one person with great team around them,
Yes.
with great people around them, where we're not scared to surround ourselves with better people than we
Sure.
are.
Yeah.
We can make a difference, and that's what we're all doing.
I mean,
And
look what
I'm
Mike's done.
stoked.
He's surrounded himself
I
by
know.
me.
With
You know?
great people.
And then he surrounds himself with great people, does the remix.
Yeah.
You know, and
He
that's
does
it.
the remix
That's it.
without even us knowing.
He didn't
That's
even.
it.
He didn't even need coaching. I'm telling you, Dave's on point over there.
Oh, that's it. That's,
That's
it. Right on
great.
cue. He's like, "What do you want to go?"
No, he did
And when
good.
in doubt, hit one of those lit up buttons over there.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'm about ready to reach over there and just hit the red button.
Let
and see-
Chef hit a button.
See if it ejects him.
hit
See
you
if
one.
it ejects him from the seat.
Give him a turkey call. Let him hit the turkey.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
That's awesome.
So you know, the 1010 restaurant here on Bridge Road has the logo of a beet. Tell
Yeah.
us the story behind the beet.
Honestly, so my partner Aaron and I, who we started it, you know, it's funny because we walked up to the restaurant and he's like, well, man, what are we going to call it? And I said, well, it says right on the door, 1010. He's like, what? I said, it's, you know, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, right? So I'm like, it's 1010. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because it's the address.
Yep.
And then I was thinking about something, an ingredient that is versatile, you know, and also that looked cool. And I think beets are something that you can use in a savory application, you can use in a sweet application. It really can be versatile. You know, on our lamb dish, we use it as a sauce.
Yes.
On a salad, you know, we slice it up and use it as a salad. On our, you know, we're doing a raw scallop crudo, where we're roasting the beets and we're shingling it with sliced raw scallops, and it kind of, you know, it is sweet. It also tastes a little bit like dirt.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got that earthiness. I won't say dirt.
Yeah,
I'll
the
say
earthiness.
earthiness.
I like
Earthiness.
Yeah,
That's
see,
good.
that's what you got to do.
See, that's
you know?
great because I had
Yeah.
a bunch. I actually had about 4 or 5 beets today for,
Yeah.
for lunch.
Yeah.
I pickled beets.
I love
Yeah.
beets.
I
Oh,
set
I
them in
do
the fridge.
too.
I'm like, oh yeah,
I do
that's-
too.
that's
And they're good
happening.
for you.
They are really
Very
good
good
for
for
you.
you, yes.
They really are. And
Yeah.
so I thought, and it also, you know, it kind of pops on the shirt.
Yep.
Our colors are you know, basically gray and purple, which is the beet color. There's also so many different kinds. So, you know, it's, you know, again, we were thinking about a culture. We're thinking about doing something different. And really, you know, I grew up in this business. I've been doing this. I learned from my grandfather basically from the time I could walk.
Yep.
And like all through my career, it was hard. People yelled and screamed and threw shit at you, and like literally was like,
Yeah.
you know, I. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make a cool, safe working environment, and we put 3 or 4 of our cooks through culinary school.
Awesome.
We're
Wow.
investing in them. We're investing in education, and again, we're investing in West Virginia.
Yep.
And what that breeds is, number 1, loyalty. Number 2, it makes them feel prideful.
Sure.
You know, we put all of our servers tips on their paychecks. So it also, you know, what the kids call, it forces us to adult.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. You know, they're budgeting. They're able to buy a house. They're able to buy a car. And I'm also trying to dispel what people think about the restaurant industry as a stepping stone.
Oh, yeah.
career. You know,
And-
I'm putting myself through this or that.
Yeah.
You know, these guys here, this is career.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're doing very well, and we're excited. Now, I'm not lost that we kind of call this restaurant a unicorn, because this doesn't happen. We've literally been open we opened in
4 years.
4 years. So we
Yeah.
opened in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And it was hard. And I sold my house.
Yeah.
And moved in with my parents at 45
Lived in the
years old.
basement.
Lived in the basement. Like 2 or 3 times out of that. But, you know, I sacrificed because I was like, hey, I got X amount of money in equity in my house. How long could this global pandemic last?
Yeah.
You know, I got payroll for 6 months. But I think, too, what we do as business owners is we sacrifice for our teams.
Sure.
And also during COVID, it really taught us how to control the environment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was small,
Yep.
it was safe, We had to make sure that everybody felt comfortable. We also were reservation only, so we just kind of kept it going. And like now we're doing 100, 120, 130 people in a night,
Yep.
and we're still reservation, not necessarily only. We still, our prices aren't super high. But I say it's fine dining with access.
But I'll tell you, it's hard to get a reservation here. We reserved our 6 seats that we have here, I think, 2.5 months ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I wanted to make sure we could get that.
And you're at the bar.
Yeah, and we're at the best place in the restaurant, really.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
it's great, and we really take pride in that experience.
Yeah.
I look at it like my house. You are coming into my home. I'm going to greet you warmly.
Yep.
We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about what makes you guys tick,
Sure.
and really get to know each other. And then I'm going to walk you to the door and say, "Hey, come again.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you," and that. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I
You-
mean,
you-
the whole experience so far, all your staff has been
amazing.
Phenomenal.
Very, very welcoming.
Very
I
professional.
am so fortunate because this is also what we have taught.
Sure.
It is
I mean, your
culture.
bartender told us that he had a whole videography set in his car if we needed help.
Oh,
Yeah, we
he's
was
the
talking
man.
about. We was actually talking about hiring him and replacing Dave.
Hey, I mean, he pretty much is the man.
I don't know if he can do a
He's
remix,
not-
though.
I don't know. Dave might have solidified his place in,
He might have.
in this tonight with
He-
his remix.
Yeah, indispensable over here. It's like absolutely. Come on back. I'll put you to work.
That's
100%.
So two
Yeah.
more things I got. On
Let me mention one more thing
Oh, yeah.
first. So he's talking about how he's dealing with the employees here, sending them to culinary art school and things like that. So it's really an extension of the education, the whole sector.
Yeah.
You're kind of reaching out there and not getting the things that they would get in the regular education system.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm
I mean,
investing in
you're-
them
oh,
and
yeah,
their
you're investing in
education.
that.
But I also talk about we have to be the smartest people in the room because this is our room.
Yeah,
So they've got to know the wine. They've got to know the beer. They've got to know what food, what the allergens are, how
Yes.
it's cooked.
Yeah.
And then, the best compliment that I think that anybody has ever given me is my team, when they're out in the general public, people treat them differently. Because we have really worked very hard to be the best at what we do, just like you guys. They treat them with respect. And I think a lot of times in the restaurant industry, we were kind of, I wouldn't say subservient, but now, of course, chefs are kind of rock stars now. We weren't when I started.
Yep.
But I love it because I'm watching my team flex a little
Sure.
bit.
Yes.
They're out there, they're walking a little taller. They are proud to work here.
Oh, yeah,
and they're
for sure.
proud- and I'm proud to work with them.
And that's an awesome thing, man. I love it. I mean, it just wraps itself around the whole Appalachian culture, like what you were talking about earlier.
It's about community.
It's about
You're
community.
right.
And one of our pillars here is supporting our community, and it was never more evident that it was reciprocated with the watch party.
Yes.
The
You're
right.
watch party had 800 people show up to watch
That's
me.
awesome.
Maybe lose.
Yes.
Not lose.
And that was all at the
because
Capitol
we're there.
Market.
It was all at the Capitol Market.
Yep.
And I will say, the win was wonderful. It was wonderful for our city. It was wonderful for our state. I had a beautiful time, and I literally ugly cried when I got back to my hotel room. And I laid down,
I guarantee you.
And Evan Osborne from the Capitol Market sent me the video, and I was like bawling. And
Oh, yeah.
Carrie wakes up and goes, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Look at this."
I mean, people
Yeah.
were going crazy.
Oh,
it was
it
like
was-
a Super Bowl party.
My buddy, who's literally from Cleveland, was
Yeah.
like, "I haven't been a part of anything like that since Cleveland won. I don't know when the last time. they
Yeah,
won was,
it's
but
been a long
he was
time.
like, it has been.
Have
He was
they?
like, so thank you.
Have they ever?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
but it's
I
been a
was
long
like,
time.
yeah. So I was like, this is great, and I want people to feel pride.
Yeah.
As much pride. I mean, I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to be West Virginia by birth and choice.
Yep.
And I want people, when they think about West Virginia, we had the table that just left was from Chicago. We have so
Nice.
many people that
Awesome.
are coming through here now from out of town.
Oh, yeah.
And growing up here, when they said, like, I said, I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. They're like, oh, yeah, we've driven through there. You have a beautiful capital, right?
yeah.
But they didn't stop.
Yep.
Or they said I had a friend in Richmond.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was
I
always
was like, yeah, we
Richmond.
kind of been a state for 150 years.
Yeah.
But like, I'll let that one slide.
Western Virginia.
Yeah.
We're like, really? That's
I love it
great.
when they do that.
I'm like, I got a friend in Nebraska.
Yep.
Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean to
you're
interrupt.
good. Absolutely. So, two things real quick. What's in store for the future, and how? And we was talking about you have a couple different places, the pitch and the ice cream.
Yeah.
How do you divulge your time between those?
So I'm here.
He's a
a lot.
really good delegator.
I'm actually cloned.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, you're not really talking to Paul. This is Paul too. It's like multiplicity.
Awesome.
You know,
Oh, good.
So what I number one, I trust my team.
Awesome.
So we set the expectations, we set the standard operating procedures, and then I trust them to execute. And then that was the difference between last year and this year.
Yeah.
I think last year I kind of had a stranglehold on it, and I was like, oh my God, we got to,
Yeah.
we're James Beard, what the hell,
Yeah.
And this year, I literally, when we were nominated again, I said, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together. And when I was talking to the guys at the pitch, and we were talking to Ellens, it's like 10-10 gets the shine, but it's all of us.
Sure.
And so what I do is try to divide my time as much as I can. I'm here. I go work out at 5:30 in the morning. I'm here by 7. I get the prep. I talk to my prep cooks. I write the lists. And then I go to the pitch on Wednesdays and Sundays. I pop into Ellens every once in a while. I've got a couple things coming in the future. We're thinking about 2 new concepts. The back booth, Picnic Taco out of Thomas, West Virginia. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. It's absolutely wonderful. So I'm teaming up with them. I'm buying into their business and helping them expand. So we're going to open up hopefully 5 or 10 Picnic Tacos over the next year throughout the state. I may be opening up maybe a not necessarily casual, but a little more family oriented than this. Italian restaurant to honor my grandfather who taught me how to cook.
Right.
And it'll be hopefully called Paulie's Fine Italian.
Oh, man.
Hey, Paulie. Hey, what's up?
That's great.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli, right?
So that leads us right into the next talking point is how you grew up with your grandfather steering the Sunday sauce.
Steering it. Was he driving that stuff?
I was. He was. He was driving something.
So
So just like a lot of our families, like my great grandfather came over from Italy to work in the coal mines. That's where the work was, right?
Yeah.
And just a lot of our immigrant families, it was food.
Well, that's where the pepperoni roll came from.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was out of necessity.
Yeah, out of necessity.
Right?
Something easy
and now it's
packable.
It blows up. I mean, we've got them on the menu at the pitch and at Ellens.
Yep.
Awesome.
I grew up here in Charleston, but every weekend we would go to Falls View. So my grandfather and, my mom has 4 sisters. My great-grandfather was from Boomer. So we would go up the Boomer Hill, and ever since I can remember, food was a part of it. So it smelled like pasta, tomato sauce, bread.
I love
it. That buzz.
Yeah.
It actually sounds exactly like in the background right now.
Absolutely.
It's like a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming.
All the family
a lot of
together
clanging.
eting on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Man, I love it.
And so he did, he worked at Alloy, at the plant in Alloy. And then on Friday nights, he did Italian night at the Glen Ferris Inn.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I literally
moly.
would stand on the milk crate, and he would pour himself some coffee. I thought coffee was light brown until college. I was like, that ain't coffee. What'd you do to that? It doesn't smell like Jack Daniels either.
That is awesome.
So that's where I learned, man. And food just is one of those things.
Comforting.
The smells, the comfort. Yep. It brings you back to family.
It brings
and
people
that's
together.
What we're trying to do here is bring people together.
Yeah.
Leave all the other baggage outside.
Sure.
And just let it float away for an hour or 2. Enjoy yourselves, and that's it, man. And now I'm in a great position where I can give a little homage to my Grandpa Joe. I can also help others.
Yep.
You know, if any restaurant, you know, I get phone calls all the time.
You've done a lot of those.
I
Yeah.
do a lot.
Yeah.
And I get phone calls all the time. They're like, hey, could you look over this or help me with this? I'm like, hell yeah. They're like, I'll give them the recipes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not secrets.
You're like the Chef Ramsay of West Virginia.
Yeah, except for I'm not calling you a dumb donkey. Yeah. Well, I will. Well, and it's funny, I met him.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. I met him one day, and I'm like, I know guys that'll work for you. I know you're not like, you know, crazy and yelling and screaming all the time. He goes, you know, in his cool British accent.
Yeah.
And he's good looking and he's all buff. He's like, Americans like drama.
That's
And
exactly
he's
right.
like, they pay me a lot of money to yell at people, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah,
That is
that's
awesome.
good.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he is
No,
not wrong.
He's definitely not wrong.
But that's
for
what
sure.
I'm trying to change in our kitchens and around is
awesome.
that culture.
We
You know,
love it.
We're trying to do it and do it right. And, you know, my struggles personally are pretty well documented. And so what we also do is we offer a safe working environment, and we get people help, too.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, Chef Paul, it's an amazing pleasure
It's an
for you
honor.
to have us.
Thank you. Thanks
Here.
for doing this. It's
Man,
it's totally my honor.
it's awesome.
And my pleasure.
I mean,
and
this-
I've learned how to remix tonight.
You
I mean,
did, you
I really feel good. I really feel good. You know, I'm constantly learning.
Yes,
Turntables,
you got to keep
remix.
learning. That's for sure. I mean, guys, you got to come check this place out. 1010 Restaurant, 1010 Bridge Road, Charleston, West Virginia.
Call
I mean,
in. Get your reservations.
Talk
Yeah.
to you. Get it now.
They've
Get them
got
for next year.
yeah, for next year.
Nah, you can get in. It's easier than that. But we
Yeah,
just,
well-
with what we was doing tonight, we definitely wanted to make sure we had the
For
space
sure.
we needed.
Yeah, and when
So-
we pulled up, you know, Dan was like, "What time's your reservations for?" I was like 8:45, and he was like, "Because there was like 10 people standing outside."
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, they were gearing up to come in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got a beautiful place here.
Thank you.
You've done an amazing job,
Thank
and we sure appreciate it.
Thank you, and thanks
Thank you for
doing
giving
this.
back to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Sir,
Thank you. We
it is-
appreciate you.
It's 100% my honor.
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
Thank
we
you.
sure appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, be sure to check this out when it airs there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and all the other major networks. This is going to be a really good one. You don't want to miss it, especially if you're a West Virginian. We've got some amazing history here with Chef Paul, talking about that and learning about his lineage and his heritage. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you watching the live tonight. Make sure you share. And, again, we thank Chef Paul and all of his staff here. They were amazing. I
Absolutely.
mean, they were the utmost professional that they could be.
Now you get to eat.
Now we
That's
do.
right. Now we get to try that ranch butter, baby.
There you go.
All righty, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good night.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Trout Routes. Trout Routes is a premier fishing app that strives to empower trout anglers with information to help you go further and discover new waters, new places, and new faces. Check them out at troutroutes.com. Trout Routes is proud to be able to connect you to local resources and experts, such as fly shops, guides, local brands, and nonprofits. Be sure to check them out at troutroutes.com or the Apple App Store and Google Play Store to download the app today.